My name is Priscilla Gadhiga. I am the National Executive Officer at the Kenya Girl Guides Association. The Kenya Girl Guides Association was registered in Kenya in 1922. And the main purpose of this movement is to develop character of the young girls and women. And because character really is the basis of leadership. All leaders, successful leaders, are people of character, and that is what we want to have. It's our dream that any country, any nation, any family, any institution desires to have a leader who has a sound character. So we have programs programs based on a curriculum that has been developed by the World Guiding Movement, and we have localized the Kenya one also because we want the activities to resonate with the environment these girls live in. And so this curriculum has, empowers, it really empowers the girls to develop leadership skills, to build their self-confidence, to have skills of advocating and voicing issues that concern them. I was born 56 years ago here in Kiambu County, very close to Nairobi. So my education, my basic education, primary school, I did in Nairobi. And then I went to my high school in Limuru Girls, from 1 to 4. From 5 to 6, I went to Maryhill in Thika. And then I went on to Nairobi University, where I graduated with a bachelor's degree in sociology. And later on, many years later, I started working, but after a couple of years, then I did my MBA. So I have also done many other trainings to enhance my career, including I've done leadership training at Harvard University. I've also done a couple of corporate governance programs. And I started off my career in the enterprise development. That's where I found myself after college, mobilizing women to form groups, to train them how to start a small business, how to manage their business, and how to access finance. So I moved on from there to an institution that was giving loans. And I worked as an operations manager there. That was in the early 2000s. But prior to that, I have worked in other institutions, in programs, women program coordination. I was actually the first national United Nations volunteer in Kenya. Yeah, United Nations volunteers only used to recruit volunteers from overseas to work in the country, in Kenya. For example, in every country they will not recruit locally, so they brought experts from outside. But when they introduced the program for recruiting national experts, I was number one to be recruited. And so I worked for a UNDP funded program on women and self-reliance, which was focusing on refugees who live in Nairobi and trying to settle them to find some income generation while their countries are still at war. Their husbands are fighting in Sudan, in Ethiopia. While they are staying here in Nairobi as refugees, they had to find a means of livelihood. And so I initiated a project funded by the UNDP, and we were working with women who are living in Nairobi and Kisumu as refugees. Finding purpose is one of the most difficult things, and it takes you many years to actually pin it. Over the years, I've worked now almost 30 years since I graduated. It's going to be 30 years. And I found myself, like I said, by default in entrepreneurship world, which was exciting. I found you can actually change somebody's life by just filling the gaps that they have in their life, whether it is finding an opportunity for training, an opportunity to get some money to start a business, an opportunity just to find the right partner. And so I kind of found passion in solving people's problems, those who are having economic challenges. And mostly I have a bias towards women, because women are the ones who have most challenges. When I started working as a young girl, I didn't realize that in this country, women did not own properties then. If you are going to, a woman wants to borrow money, they didn't have a title, they didn't have anything in their name. So we had to go to the husband, to ask the husband to do it on, on their behalf. And what would happen if the woman defaults? It would lead to other, negative consequences, like a divorce, or women getting battered because they have exposed the family property and so forth. So I found that over the time we developed mechanisms of lending women money without collateral, where they would come in those groups, do their savings, and then they support each other, is guaranteeing those loans. So I would say that really I have a passion in women empowerment, economic, social, and even spiritual. I am a believer. For many years I have been walking the that path, and I find it is very fulfilling for someone to know that whatever you plan to do and you put God in it, it succeeds in most cases, and believing that God has good plans for us and that we can pray and get God open doors. And over the years, I have been thinking of how can I make myself more useful with the information, the knowledge, the experiences that I've gathered over the years, to make younger people's lives more smoother than it has been for me. When we were growing up, we never had things like mentors. We were just learning from our peers or from the society. We didn't even have really internet where you get information. So it's kind of we were wading in the darkness, but knowing that you are going somewhere. But now it's much easier because there's a lot of resources accessible.